Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth. It's good to have you. Please consider subscribing and turning on the post notification bell if you are a crafter or just enjoy crafting videos. My goal is to grow to 1,000 subscribers, so please help me to achieve my goal so I can continue to bring you more crafting videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an embroidery patch with a nice clean edge using the punch out method. So if you'd like to see how I do this, stay tuned. Okay, so to create this patch, I'm going to be testing out two ways of creating this patch. I designed this patch on Embroidery. It's basically just a font. If you would like to see how I digitized that on Embroidery, please let me know in the description box. But I'm going to be using, for one of my patches, I'm going to be using cotton and a cotton fabric, and I'm also going to be using some felt as well. On both of these materials I have ironed on an iron-on interfacing on the back just to make it a bit more sturdy. I don't know if I necessarily needed it for the felt, but I definitely needed it for my cotton fabric because it was a bit flimsy and I wanted to make it a bit more sturdy. So we'll just see how it goes anyway. I have got my hoop here, and already hooped is a cutaway stabilizer, 2 sheets. So I've hooped 2 sheets of cutaway stabilizer just so that the patches have a bit more, they're a bit more sturdy. I've got my curved scissors here to cut out around my patch because I am trying a new way of creating a patch that is a more cleaner way, which is a kind of applique. I'm going to be first doing my design, and then I'm going to be doing a final satin stitch on some water soluble stabilizer. Can't get my words out. Yeah, some water soluble stabilizer. So my threads that I have chosen for this patch, I have got some cardinal red here. I really like this deep red color. I've got some normal red and white. I will link where I got my threads and my stabilizer, and I am using my single needle Janome 550E. So let's take you to the embroidery machine. So we are at the machine. I'm just going to attach my hoop. And the first stitch is going to be, even though it wasn't necessary for me to do this, but I just did it anyway, why not? Is going to be the placement for my fabric, since I'm doing 2 different types of fabric on here. I hope my stabilizer is nice and taut. Let's see how it goes. So first stitch is the placement stitch. Okay, so that is my placement stitch done right there. So I'm just going to place my fabric down. So I could have used some spray adhesive, but I've gone for just putting a teeny bit of this glue stick on the back just to place it down because it's such a small piece of fabric, so just so it stays down for the initial stitch. So this one is a bit bigger than my placement, which is fine. So I'm just going to place that down, and I'm doing the two just to see which turns out better, which holds better. Okay, put in the hoop back onto the machine, and then this is now going to do a kind of like an outline. I digitized a bean stitch. Okay, so that is the bean stitch done. I now have to do a quick colour change. So I'm going to take this off the hoop, or take this off the machine rather, and just do a quick colour change. Always pull your thread from the bottom. Okay, so that's my colour change done. Now it's going to do the column stitch for each font. Oh, we have a little problem there. I think you could see it, so let's just cut that. Okay, so the felt has lifted, and also the K didn't complete its stitch there. It could be that I have run out of bobbin, so I'm just going to check that very quickly. Yes, definitely out of bobbin. So I'm just going to wind some more thread on my bobbin here, because I don't have one handy, and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. My bobbin is in, and I'm just going to have to go back a few steps because we are missing this part of the K. So let me just cut this thread here. Neaten that up a bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back a few steps. So right, so hopefully that is where we stopped. Okay, so that is the font done. I'm going to now do a quick colour change. Okay, so that is my colour change done. I'm going to be doing a placement stitch so that I can cut around the fabric now. So I've changed it to white. That might not be the wisest of choices because the fabric is also white and it might be a bit difficult for me to see where to cut, but let's have a go and see what happens. So things were going smoothly until this point, when it was doing the tack down stitch and the needle decided to go underneath the felt. It did it earlier, as you saw, but this time it really went underneath the felt. I managed to stop it, but not in time because it had moved the stabilizer. And once the stabilizer had moved, it meant that everything was dislodged. So I try and sort it all out again and try and have another go. So I tried again, as you can see, but Jennifer, my embroidery machine, was not having it, just would not stitch this final part. And I tried again, but she just kept stopping. She had had enough by this point, and rightly so, because I did not do the right thing. Okay, so we have a problem. So when the needle got caught under the felt, I think it shifted my stabilizer because it kind of pulled it down. So when I untangled it, unhooked it and replaced it, it had moved the stabilizer. So now on this second patch here, we can see here that it is doing the border right inside the text. So what I'm going to do is, because this one's done, I'm going to try and pick this border out and try and just resize it, because there's a second step to this patch where I'm going to be doing the finishing satin stitch using the water soluble stabilizer. So I need to cut around this border anyway. So what I'm going to do is just try and measure as best as I can using this one, because they're the same size, and cut around that placement stitch. So let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to unhoop this now and cut around this, and then hoop my water soluble stabilizer and continue. But embroidery can be difficult sometimes. Okay, so my thread bin is getting full. It's full of thread. Any suggestions about what I can do with this thread to make a project? Please leave it in the comment section below. So, as for this, I'm going to unhoop this now and cut around the border that I did. Okay, so I'm just using, these are the scissors that I use for my stabilizer. You don't want to use your fabric scissors for your stabilizer because it will make your scissors blunt. So I'm going to cut around this one first. I'm just going to cut the excess stabilizer off first, like that. And then I'm going to go around the white border, which you can just about see there. I'm going to go as close as I can without cutting into the stitches. Okay, so that's as close as I can get. I really do not want to get any closer, just so I don't cut into the stitches. And then I'm going to tidy up the back. Before I do that, I'm going to try and cut this nightmare out. I may use this as a sort of template. of like that. And what I might do is, just so I don't run the risk of cutting into this, I might just draw around it with a fabric pen. Okay, so I have managed to clean around this one, remove the stitches from this felt. This felt was a bit of a nightmare, mainly my fault really, because I didn't stick it down properly onto the stabilizer. So you saw when the needle kind of went underneath the stabilizer and shifted my stabilizer, and then it stitched out funny. So I had to measure it. That's what these blue marks are. Excuse my chipped nails, guys. But yeah, I had to draw around it with a fabric pen and cut around it as best as I can. So hopefully that is the correct measurement right there. You can still see a few stitches here. I'm just going to get my seam ripper and just remove those stitches there. So I have a few more stitches where the stabilizer did shift and it stitched out a little funny. So I'm just removing those threads. Okay, here is the back. I've tried to clean it up a little bit, but we're going to be putting some heat and bond on the back, so I'm not really concerned about the back, even though I prefer to have a clean back. So just cleaning it a little, not too fussy about that one. And here is the other one. So far I know which one I prefer, but let's see the final satin stitch. So for this next part I am going to be using some Ultra Solvy water soluble stabilizer. This is from Amazon and I already have it hooped in my stabilizer, so I'm just going to take this to the machine and do the placement for my patch now. So I'm going to take you to the machine. Okay, so I have never used this product before, so I am hoping everything turns out fine. I've got my thread in, so I'm going to stitch my placement now. Okay, so that is my placement stitch done. Right there. A little bit hard to see because we've got the glare of the ring light, but you can see it right there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just checking the back to see where that thread is. I think I will go ahead and remove the thread. Try not to puncture it. I'm so nervous. I might just do a little snip. I really do not want to cut this stuff. Don't want to puncture it. Okay, that will do. Right, so now I have to place my patches on there, and as I said earlier, I don't have the adhesive spray, so I'm just using this glue stick just to stick it down because it is going to do a tack down. So I'm just going to coat the back of this and place that down into my placement stitch, and I'm going to put it down on a flat surface so I can press that down properly. Let's get it back in. Wish me luck. Okay, so the next bit now is the tack down stitch. Okay, so I can see that it might be quite close to the very edge here. I can see that it's quite close to the edge. So even though this bit is supposed to be avoided, I'm just going to snip a little bit off there, and hopefully I don't puncture my water soluble. Let's just see what happens. I made my satin stitch for this 3mm, but in hindsight maybe I should have made it 4 just to give me enough of a border. So let's just try. This is just a trial of how the new way that I am doing patches. So let's just see how that goes. So final satin stitch now. Okay, so it is done. I can already see which one I prefer, even though there are some flaws in both of them. They're not 100% great, but one is much better than the other. Okay, as far as the edge. Yeah, so I'm gonna take you to the table now, and we're gonna just pop these babies out of this water soluble stabilizer. Okay, so let's unhook this. I think he was supposed to just be able to rip it. Yep, just pop them out. That's the idea. There's just a stitch there that I need to cut. Okay, so that is the felt one. Okay, the edges are clean, but like I said, you could see there's a little bit of, if I use this as a pointy tool, there is a kind of this overhang here which is not supposed to be there, but I did have that kind of issue earlier. Let's see the cotton one. I mean, I like the idea of just popping them out and not having to cut around it once it's all done. But I have a few bits of tidying up to do there, where I think that is the actual cotton fraying. So I'm just going to trim some of this off just to tidy it up. But like I said, I believe this is the actual, yes, it definitely is the actual fabric and not the threads of the embroidery. So just going to tidy it up a little bit. Okay, so an emergency came up, so this is actually the next day. So I've gone ahead and peeled off the water-soluble stabilizer off the back, and I've cleaned it off a little bit as well. And here is a felt one, which is not my favorite, but tell me what you think. I've also got here some Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. So you need the Ultra Hold. This is good for patches. You just iron it on. So I've got a couple of pieces here, but before I do that, I'm just going to tidy up this edge here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just clean around the edges using a lighter. Be careful, obviously, because it is a flame. So I'm just going to tidy up the edge right here. Now that that's done, I'm going to turn on, I'm using my Cricut mini press for this. So I'm just going to turn it on and wait for it to heat up. And then we can press the Heat and Bond on the back. So this is supposed to be a no hassle way of creating a patch, even though you saw earlier that I did have some hassle, but that was because I did not hoop my materials the way that I should have. But this is supposed to be an easy way if you're doing lots of patches to create a patch without having to fuss too much over getting a neat edge. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut my excess Heat and Bond that's around the patch, and that will be the project done. Just getting my scissors. Okay, so these are the patches done. Now, tell me in the comment section which is your favorite. I know which one's my favorite. It's the one that looks more tidy. So, is it the one at the top or the one at the bottom? My favorite one is the one at the top. I think it's stitched out better than that one. I think next time, although I do like the felt, it's got a nice texture, next time I use felt, I may put some water soluble topper on the top just to hold those stitches, because some of the stitches seem to kind of cross over. so I'm not sure. Might be something to do with pore compensation as well, but I prefer that one. That one's my favorite. So let me know in the comment section. So that is how I create a no hassle patch. So if you found this video interesting or useful, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and turn on the post notification bell and click all so you are notified when I upload a new video. And as always guys, don't have a good day, have an amazing day. Till next time, bye.